In this video, I'm going to give you all the tips that you need to know to buy a headset microphone to be able to teach your fitness group classes using a mic. Hi, I'm João Ferreira, the owner of Passion Fitness, a digital agency in the fitness world. I'm also the creator of Tina, the Instructors app, but I'm also a spinning master instructor. I have been teaching spinning for more than 10 years. And on the first year after I got my certification, I bought my first microphone headset. Since then, I have been using my own microphone everywhere I teach. So in this video, I'm going to give you all the tips you need to know to be able to buy a microphone headset. It's not a full test of all the brands. It's just my sharing of my experience as an instructor on how I chose and experienced different brands and different types of headsets. So let me tell you a bit more about what is a microphone headset. Very often we talk about the microphone and you think that we may be talking just about this piece here. So this is the microphone itself, but it's not the main component. One of the main components of a microphone headset kit, it's this. So this is a base, what I call a base, and this is basically a receiver. So this is going to receive the signal of your microphone, and due to the connectors that you have in the back, you are able to connect this to the sound system that you may be using in your gym. Now, if your gym already has a box like this, a receiver, so you then just need to buy the microphone itself and the transmitter, but it needs to be compatible with the receiver, of course. So it has to be the same brand, but also this is using frequencies to communicate. So you need to make sure it's using the right frequency. So this is the base, that's number one component. The second component, which is actually two components by themselves. One is the microphone itself, and the other one is the transmitter. I will show you this in more into detail. So this is the transmitter. So it's a box, and this has a battery compartment as well. And as you see, it also has an antenna. So this is where I plug my microphone, and this is the microphone headset. So the one that you are using around your head to be able to teach your classes. So you plug the microphone to the transmitter, and the transmitter is connected to the base, the receiver. Now, one thing that is important, as you see, there is a little LCD display here, and if I actually plug in the box, there is also one number here, and these numbers need to be the same. So these are digital numbers, so it's a channel, we call this the channel, so it needs to be configured to be the same channel in the transmitter and in the receiver. Usually you also have a little light. In my case, it's going to turn green when the two are connected. Now I need to know a few more things about the headset. So the base, the receiver, that is operated by a power cable, which is delivered with the receiver. Now there is something else you need to know, is that the transmitter has a battery case. Well, in this example, I will give you the brand that I'm using right after this. I have one 1.5 volt battery. I'm using rechargeable batteries, and I'm using quite powerful rechargeable batteries. So I can just recharge them and I don't have to buy new ones. So with a set of 4, I can really go a lot of time with it. Now in this specific model, I have only one battery. Sometimes you have 9 volt batteries, sometimes you have 2 batteries. So in this brand here, I have only one battery. So because we are using batteries, I advise you 2 other things. So rechargeable batteries, a rechargeable device, and this very simple device to use, which is a power meter basically. So let me show you the main components of a microphone headset kit. The first one, which is the major one, it's this box. Usually it's pretty big. There are smaller ones, of course, but so this box is a receiver. It's important because the microphone is going to transmit your voice through radio signals to this specific device, and with the connectors you see here in the back, these connectors allow you to connect this box to the sound system. And then the sound is just going to come up in the loudspeakers in the sound system. So this is the base, the receiver. Now there are two other components. There is this small box. This is the transmitter. And this is something that you hold, as you can see here in the back. There is something to hold on to a belt, for instance, or you can just put it in your pocket. And this has an antenna and it has a microphone connector. So this transmitter is going to send your voice signal to the receiver. So then the last component is the microphone itself. As you see, it has a headset form, so you can place it around your head, and the microphone is just now standing in front of your mouth. This is the bonnet, which is delivered with it. You can buy usually extra bonnets, and then so the cable is connected to your transmitter. Now, as you can see here, there is also a battery compartment. In the lid, you have something to easily remove the battery. So it's using a 1.5 volt battery, and I'm using rechargeable batteries. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. This kit that I'm using is the Perception Wireless. I'm using this now for 3 to 4 years, and I'm very, very happy with it. But the first model I started with was a Sennheiser. I will put all the links to the different models, not the ones that I use because now they are new models. So the new model that you can find on Amazon, it's using exactly the same principle. So the three main components are these ones. Now, they are not delivered with cables, so you do need to buy cables. Well, for this you need to know what is your sound system using. Now, which cables do you need? If you look at the back of my receiver, and most of the receivers work in the same way, there are two types of connectors. There is a XLR male and there is a jack female. So basically you just need to use one of the two. Now the best one I would say is the XLR. So the cable that you need will be an XLR female for this side and an XLR male for the other side. Now, most of the sound systems will have XLR or jack in the same plug. So you can have both cables as you want. So I'm going to show you here two of the cables I'm using. So this is an XLR male to XLR female. So as you see in one side here, I will just plug in the XLR female into my receiver. And this side, I will just plug it into the sound system. Most of gym sound systems have this type of plug. Now, if they don't have this one, but they have a jack, well, usually the jack and this one are in the same one, but probably they may have just a jack. So here it is. I have the XLR here, the female, going to a jack. So it's not the mini jack, it's a big jack. And if you see here, it can also plug in into the jack connector here. But of course, I'm using this one with the XLR on one side, and then the jack that would go on the sound system on the other side. Now the receiver here is power operated. So usually it brings this power cord. It's like a 12 volt power cord that you can just plug into here. Most of the receivers have the same power cord. So probably in your gym, if they have a receiver, even from another brand, you may reuse their power cord they already have. I use this a lot. Like basically all the Sennheisers that I find in other clubs, they will have this. So that's basically all the connectors that you have. Now in the receiver, there is a on-off button here. And there is also a volume button and a channel button. Now the channel is something quite important. If I get here again the transmitter, so the transmitter, the receiver, they need to be talking on the same channel. So by default, I always set it, there is a small display here, and there is a button as well inside to be able to change a channel. And there is a channel button there as well. So this one is very easy to change, just pressing the button there and the button inside the transmitter here, and just make sure that you have the same channel on both. So this is using radio frequency, so also make sure that when you are buying this to your country, make sure that the frequencies that it's using are supported in your country. That's why it's not very good to buy this in in China, for instance. Don't buy it there, buy it in European websites if you are in Europe, in American websites if you are in US, because most of the times they are already checked to be able to be supported by your country legislation. Radio frequency is pretty much regulated, so you cannot just use any frequency you want. So it's very important you check that the frequency is actually valid and supported in your country. As I was telling you, the first kit I used was a Sennheiser. Sennheiser is, at least here in my country, the one that is used in most gyms. And that's why it was the first one I bought. Well, it didn't last me long. With the sweat, I was sweating so much on that microphone that I killed the microphone very, very fast. So what I did is, okay, I bought another microphone, not the whole set. So the whole set you need to buy just once. When your microphone is not working anymore, you have to buy this set. And it's not delivered with this, with the transmitter. So the transmitter and the receiver, that's something that you are going to keep. And usually you are just buying the microphone itself. Now the microphone itself, it's also one of the most expensive pieces. So like the whole kit here probably costed me around 250 euros, and just the headset was costing me 100 euros. Now the prices have changed lately, so probably it's going to be cheaper, but that's one of the most expensive pieces, is just this microphone. So this is the piece of equipment that you need to take care of. Why? Because it's the one that is close to your mouth, is the one that you are sweating on, and humidity and microphones are not very good friends. So that's something that you need to really pay attention to. So like, do not store this in a closed box, in a Tupperware, for instance, because it cannot dry. So you have to put it in a place where it can dry. So I'm using a pouch where I put it in, which is kind of ventilated, so it can dry really, really fast. And the best thing that you need to do as well after your class, when you get home, just put it out of the box or out of the pouch that you are keeping it, so it can dry. You can also remove the bonnet, of course, and it can dry faster as well. So the Sennheiser was the first model I actually bought, and as I said, it didn't last long. Even though it's good quality, probably one of the most known out there, for me it didn't last long. So then I bought another brand. I bought Shure, and I'm going to show you the one I have. Actually, I don't have the Sennheiser anymore because I sold it to someone else. Like, I sold the base, the microphone was not working anymore, and that person just bought a new microphone. So this is the Shure. As you see, it's a little bit smaller, but it's also pretty handy. So this is again the receiver, and I have here the transmitter. So this is the transmitter, and so let me open it here. You're going to see it has a 9-volt battery. Well, it's not so good because you need a charger for 9 volt, so you need a special charger for this. And of course you need to buy this kind of batteries, also rechargeable, but you need to have a few, and normally those are not so used. It also has a button for the channel, and what is nice is that you have, of course, a 0 here and a -10 dB to reduce the sound. So very easy buttons here just to reduce the volume if the sensitivity of the microphone is set too high in your sound system. So this can be really, really handy. Well, this lasts me some time, but I also killed it. Yes, I was still sweating a lot and I just killed it. So this is where One day I was in a bar, and I saw a group of musicians, and basically they had this kind of transmitter, a little bit smaller, with another type of microphone, and they had this in their instruments. I basically just went to see the brand they were using, and I saw it was AKG. So AKG. I will put again the link below to the model I'm using, actually to the newer model I'm using. AKG is quite known for microphones. It's quite known for sound systems. So AKG, it's Armand Cardon Group. Probably you heard about it in car audio and even home audio. It's really good. So Perception Wireless. It's my second microphone. So I did bought a new microphone because I wanted to switch microphones. As I told you, when you buy a new mic, you don't get the transmitter. But the transmitter, it's always in your pocket. It doesn't really get so moist when you are teaching. What really gets used too much is the microphone itself. So this is the one that you would like to actually buy. So if you are teaching a lot of classes, I would say that if you are teaching at least 5 classes a week or more, well, buy 2 of these and then just switch. Like if you are doing 2 classes in the same day, just switch the microphone so you leave some time to try. If you are using it every day, do the same thing. Just switch the microphone, so then you are always using kind of a brand new microphone which is dry. Why? Because if it's moist inside there, if it's moist, well, you're going to lose sound quality. It happened to me a lot with the other microphones I had, so with the Shure, with the Sennheiser, that I was starting one class and the sound was pretty good, and half through of the class I was losing sound quality. Sometimes I had to put it off and just do the rest of the class without the microphone. So it is a challenge. It's not so easy to teach with microphones because it's technology, it can break. So it's something that you need to take care of. As I said, always put it in a pouch, always store it safely and securely, and in a place where it can dry really, really fast. The batteries, that's also something I really love in the AKG. As you see here, there is this battery compartment, and the lid has, a little little screwdriver, and you can very easily take off the battery, and it's only using one battery. Actually, this screwdriver has another usage. So there is a little sensitivity button here, and you can just, with the lid, with the screwdriver from the lid, you can actually change the sensitivity of the transmitter. I never touch this. Like, it's set once for all, and I very rarely change this. There's a button to change the channel as well. And remember, there is a volume in the receiver, so you can always change the sensitivity in the receiver itself. So I very rarely use this one. Coming back to the batteries. So always buy powerful batteries. Usually when you go to a shop and check to these rechargeable batteries, there is a number you need to follow. So if you look at this one here, you can read 2300 milliamperes. This one here is 2600 milliamperes. This one here is 2700. This just means it's more powerful and it can last longer. The higher this number is, the most expensive it is. So don't buy the cheap ones. Don't buy like 1200, or I would say don't buy anything less than 2000 milliamperes, because it's going to last you a lot longer. So the number of times you need to recharge it will be lower, and you can teach a lot more classes just with one battery. For this you need to have, of course, a charger, battery charger. But then I have another tip for you. I will put the link right here below. It's a power meter. So this will allow you to check your batteries. So always check if they need to be recharged or not. And if they don't need to be recharged, don't recharge them. So it's very easy. You just need to put the plus on the plus side and the minus on the minus side. And you can see this one here is completely empty. So I need to recharge it. So very easy and handy. And always have, so like this one here is charged, always have this in the pouch of your microphone, and always have 2 to 3 batteries. And from time to time, just check the level of your batteries. When you have 2 which are discharged, put them in here because you need to put them 2 by 2, and then you just get fresh new batteries. If you always follow this, you will always have a microphone that is working correctly. So something you need to check as well is, well, how comfortable this is. And that's again something I really love in the AKG, is the comfort of this. So it doesn't squeeze too much my head. Like, I used microphones that were completely hurting on the sides here. So this is very soft. Also important when you are wearing your microphone to have at least 1 finger of distance between the microphone bonnet and your mouth. Still, you know, if you are sweating a lot, and even if there is a distance there, it can still get moist. You can put it further distance from your mouth. Where you should also use it is just a little bit below your mouth, so that if you are speaking or if you are breathing, it doesn't breathe into the microphone. So it should be a little bit below, like on the lower lip. And again, just check that you have at least 1 finger distance between your mouth and the microphone bonnet. When you are going to your club, always try out the cables, always try out the system, and do tune your microphone according to the system, according to the room that you have. A different shape of room will have different settings. A different sound system will have different settings. With time, you're going to get there, and you're going to know which settings you have to put for each room or each fitness that you are teaching on. So with this, it should be okay. Again, I will put all the links to all this material. This is my preferred. It's not a test of all the different types of systems you have out there. Probably you have another one from another brand, which is great. Usually I would say, do not buy a system that is low than 100 euros or $100. Do not buy a system that is above 500, because that's also overkill. Anyway, whatever system you will buy, 500, 800, 1,000 euros, you're still going to sweat on it. So it may break as easy as one of 100 euros. You know, if you buy in between the middle, like 200, between 200 and 300 euros, that's a good price for a whole kit, and around 100 euros for just a microphone set. Now you know most about headset microphones to use in your fitness group classes. Let's get down to the real tips on how to choose the best one for you. Based on my experience, I used 3 brands. Sennheiser, which is probably the most known in the market and the most used in clubs as well. Shure, which is also pretty used in the audio industry. And then AKG. My preferred one is the AKG. It's also the last one I'm using, but it's the one I could use the longest. It's the most rigid, the most powerful for me, and it's lasting already for quite some time. So some tips to choose or not to choose some of the things. Take an example of this headset. It has this band here. It's a good bad idea, because like in spinning, we sweat a lot, and in other type of classes like a Zumba or attack, you can sweat a lot, and all the sweat goes into here. So at the end of the class, this is really very disgusting, and it takes some time to dry. Also, when I fit this, it doesn't really fit so well. Like, it kind of moves in my head, and even with this band, basically, it's a real good bad idea. It's not very practical. The AKG headset, which is the one I have here, has been for me the most comfortable one. So when I fit it, it fits really well, it doesn't hurt, and it kind of really stays in place. It doesn't move. Actually, it has this this part here, which is soft, and it kind of fits really well on your head. Also, the microphone quality is pretty good. Usually it's delivered with a little plastic that you can actually put here, and it's saying there that is for the humidity, for your sweat. It doesn't work really well. Basically what it does is, if you have water coming out or coming from here, it will stop the water to go to the microphone. But really, it's not a big useful. It's again another very good bad idea. But so this one here, the AKG, it's the PT45, so that's the transmitter. It's really for me one of the best ones. It's also very practical, so it has like 2 positions, 1, 2. That's on, and the middle position is the mute position. So it's pretty handy. It's pretty handy to actually change the channel, and what I really like a lot is the fact that it has only one battery, which means that I usually buy like 4 batteries because that's the amount of batteries that I usually buy. So I have always 3 in my bag, one that I'm using all the time, of course. When I'm teaching a class and the battery goes off, I just replace it with another one. I just keep it there until the second one is empty, and then when it's empty I take it out, I put the last one there, and I charge my 2 batteries, because as I showed you in the charger, you always have to charge them by 2. The Shure, that's using a 9-volt battery, and I find it less practical. I don't know if they are more expensive than the 1.5 volts, but it's a lot less practical. There are some other transmitters which have 2 batteries, so which means that you need to have probably 6 rechargeable batteries to be able to turn them over every time you have to change. Actually, the AKG, surprisingly, does keep a long time with just 1 battery. But remember, you have to take those batteries which are more than 2000 milliamperes. The highest the better, like 2600 to 2700 milliamperes. But even if it's below that is okay, just not below 2000. And you should be okay with that. So that's my preferred one. But I'm gonna again add just below this video here the most used headsets. And I will start with the Sennheiser, and you can find the Sennheiser in Amazon. It's actually at the moment around 350 euros. I will also add the price for Amazon in UK, of course. There is a new model than the one I used. Of course, the one I used was 10 years ago. So it's the XSW1ME3 headset, and it looks really nice, really good. It does have that band on the headset, meaning that if you sweat a lot, that's going to be also sweat and wetty. That's not so nice. So I will also add right below this video the AKG headset, sports headset, and it's the AKG PW45 set microphone. In the Amazon France is at 208. So as you saw, it's a lot cheaper than the Sennheiser, really a lot cheaper, and it's still a good price. Like, I would advise not to buy any brand below 200 euros. Everything that is below, it's going to be less quality. You're going to have a bad quality on the sound, not a very good longevity on the batteries, on the distance as well. Like, this AKG is really great when you are talking at a very good distance from the transmitter and the receiver, and the quality is still very good. Usually when you buy lower brands, their strength is not so heavy. So when you walk further from the receiver, you're going to lose transmission quality. So when you are talking, it's going to cut your conversation over. So for me, again, as I said, this is the killer headset. This is not a complete test. It's not a test to see which is the best one. It's just based on my experience. And my experience is that out of the 3 that I use, the 3 brands, the AKG is for me the best one. I would like to hear from you, your experience, the headsets that you have used. Probably you have used headsets which were a lot lower expensive and still work pretty good based in your setting. Or you have used very expensive headsets and you have been doing great as well. I used, as I said, the Sennheiser at the beginning, which was around 350 euros, and I could break it very fast just with the sweat, the humidity. So these kind of things, they hate humidity. And the AKG has been standing for quite some time. It's my second headset, so the kit is still the first one. And I actually bought a second headset of these ones, which was around 90 euros. You can find that easily as well. I will also put the link just for the headset if you need to buy one. So this is my advice for you, AKG or Sennheiser or any other. I hope you appreciated this video. I would like to hear from you, of course, any comment on this. But I would like also to hear from you about which other subjects you would like me to talk about, or to test, like if you would like to test any other brand. Any question, please go ahead. I will do all my best to answer that. This is one of my first videos on my YouTube channel. So please, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and give me any other hints or topics you would like me to talk about. do a like on this video as well and share it with others. I will also put some other links here for you to follow my Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. I also created a Facebook group in one of my pages, actually in the Tina Instructors app page, which is an instructor group, and I would like this group to grow. So if you're a fitness instructor, join this group. I will put the link here below. Just click on it. Go see what it's there. I will actually post this video there as well. If you haven't tried it yet, have a look at my application, Tina the Instructors app. You can find it on iOS App Store or the Google Android Play. It's free to install and to use. We are preparing now version 2, and one of the main functions we have in this app is the replacement function. So as a fitness instructor, you just specify which fitness certification you have, which region you are working on. You can set your classes there and the clubs you are teaching, and if you want to find a replacement, you just hit on a specific class on a date and ask for a replacement. It's going to send the notifications to all the instructors in your region teaching the same type of class as you do, and then it's very easy. They just notify you saying that they are available and they would like to replace you, and you are the one to choose who is going to replace you. So as easy as that. Try it out. It's all free, and of course I would like your support in installing it, in sharing it. And again, if you have any feedback, any comment, please get back to me. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.